Today I'm going to share exactly how I get my sites to show up in AI search engines. This is something I've been ranting about for a while, and I'm going to just get straight to the point. It might come as an absolute shock and a surprise to many of you that if you already showed up well on Google and Bing, you will get picked up by AI search naturally, especially if you're in the top 10, especially if you've been around for a while, especially if you had good on-page SEO. If you think about it, Bing is ChatGPT. Bing has always copied Google's core algorithm and how Google makes decisions. Gemini is Google. You guys can search which one is best, which is the most common, which is the most used. There's Perplexity as well. Now, in my world, Perplexity fell off a cliff the moment ChatGPT and Gemini allowed for the browsing of the search engines. Don't hold me to that. This is not a review. Everything's changing and upside down. Now, it might also come as an absolute shock and a surprise to you, but people with more testing assets and data have more accurate information on what works and what doesn't. It's really fascinating for me to see the super clickbait YouTube videos and all of the social stuff out there from essentially just influencers that have never really ranked a site in their life. That a lot of what they say has a little bit of truth behind it, but I'm starting to see all of these crazy analogies pop up, and look, these are legit new keywords that we should be optimizing for, and we are optimizing for. But in a nutshell, for many years as part of the standard SEO campaign, a lot of these should have been already ticked off. Now, before I dive into exactly what we're rolling out and what we're changing and what we're continuing to do, let's maybe just jump into some of these analogies, which I don't know, they give me, but I call these AI search optimization. In other words, standard SEO in 2025, because that's exactly what this is. The original term search engine optimization refers to the sort of traditional optimization based on keyword and keyword intent and backlinks and content and technical fixes. Now, I'll come back to this because all of the others underneath fall within that one way or another. So when you're talking about search engine optimization, the question is, will this help me rank higher on Google? AI optimization. Okay, now this is a bit different. Make sure AI models learn about your business correctly through structured, factual content. It's what we already did. We had structures, we had service pages, we had factual content, and in the last 5 years I've been removing a lot of the fluff, a lot of the keyword stuffing that I did 10 years ago when it worked. Now the question is, for AI optimization, will this help AI models learn about my business, my brand? So this action that I'm taking now, whatever it might be. So an example might be a dental practice that gets included in AI training data via structured practices like info, patient reviews, medical directories and stuff like that. Directories, medical directories. Whereas search engine optimization was like, hey, dental practice ranks #1 for dentist near me searches, which is mostly done by local SEO, which is correct on page, still backlinks, citations, and then of course a lot stems from the Google business and the correct optimization there and reviews. Now, another one that's been thrown around a lot is Generative Engine Optimisation. Now, in no way am I talking down on these or in any way negatively. These are all extremely important, and anyone doing SEO needs to understand the difference, because we're essentially now attempting to optimize for all five. Generative Engine Optimization is talking about getting AI to actively recommend you when people ask questions using clear, factual writing. So just the chats with language models. Will AI recommend me over competitors? And I'll show you a screenshot of how AI is currently recommending a lot of my sites. I don't know if you know my story, but still have hundreds and hundreds of my own personal sites that I built from the ground up for SEO testing. There's the monetization strategy behind that you could call rank and rent, where I build a plumber plus suburb, electrician plus Sydney. I'd rank it and I push the leads to somebody. Now, after doing that for over 10 years, I've still got those sites and those assets that are now aged that I'm still using for lead gen, for links, for a lot of reasons of great benefit for SEO when I have a lot of sites. And that gives me a lot of data to test these things on. Will AI recommend me over competitors? The big one here is AI at the moment, AI search engines, aside from mimicking what's on Bing and Google, they've actually gone back to the basics, and they've like, if they see that you're being recommended via text, via some sort of directory listing that you are number one, they're going to be like, they're just going to believe it. So if Eugene builds 20, 30, 40, 50 or 10 posts on tradie websites, on medical websites to say that this dentist in Melbourne is number one, AI is like soaking it up and placing it number one. At least that's what's been happening for the last year that I've noticed. Since ChatGPT enabled web search anyway, where it crawls and it shows current results. So really cool stuff. Will AI recommend me over competitors? An example of this is dentist gets recommended by ChatGPT when people ask for best family dentist in city. Now, best family dentist in city is Eugene's 20 or 30 directory pages on medical sites that are mulling over that topic. Best dentist clinics, best dentist specialists, best teeth removal. There's a whole bunch of these that I genuinely have built for many years because they, one, ranked really well, and two, they pushed a lot of positive SEO juice to my client sites. I've placed pixels on those pages. I've done some really cool stuff. Now, in the past, they would dominate rankings and traffic. When AI came along, a lot of those affiliate listicle type posts, Forbes and CNN's affiliate sites got a bit of a hit. A lot of mine are still getting some good traffic, but nowhere near as much as they used to when I created 5 listicle posts on dentists in suburb. Some of those would, like first, second, on third, I would hog. And I did that for years. Now what I'm seeing is those posts are being cited via ChatGPT. So ChatGPT is, I believe this is the best dentist in suburb based on these citations. And the citations are all linking to my sites. I absolutely love it. So definitely far less traffic hitting those sites, but the value of those pages, especially if they're rewritten in NLP, talkative tone, I'll get to that in just a second. Answer engine optimization, AEO. B, the answer Google highlights in featured snippets and AI overviews. So will Google highlight my answer? So in other words, when you create high quality guide-like content, removing the fluff, getting to the point, the best tools for teeth extraction or the best tooth whitening for raccoons, right? If you just give your opinion on that, dental practice appears in Google's AI overview. What to expect during a root canal with clear FAQ content. Now, there's 2 types of content there. There is high intent content, which potentially someone will book in a root canal. That should go onto the service page. And then there's informational on what is root canal. So that's where my theory and something I've rolled out for many years is dominating all of the PAA questions people also asked. Now, in these last few years, we've trimmed a lot of those because we used to have 10 blogs on a wedding site on how to choose a wedding dress. Now it's just one super guide, mulls over all the topics, minimizes keyword cannibalization, minimizes overlap with other blogs and things like that. SXO, search experience optimization. Turn search traffic into conversions with fast pages, clear CTAs, and great UX. Now, none of this is new. It's just these new words have just popped up. Will this traffic turn into an action? Meaning, did they find the call to action? Did they inquire? Did they press the button? Did they call? Did they book? Did they fill out the form? Did they land on the thank you page? So in other words, taking action that is easy, like paving a red carpet, making sure that the site is mobile optimized, making sure that it's crawlable. Will this turn traffic into action? An example on a dental site I did was dental websites load fast, show appointment booking immediately, converts 4 times more visitors to patients. So basically just conversion rate optimization, CRO, right? All of this, I'm simply just, when talking about it, is AI search optimization. In other words, SEO, search engine optimization. Once again, all of it is important, and if anything, my armory of things that I'm capable of now just is 5 times, well, perceived 5 times stronger, but really all of these things we were already doing. So let's break it down a little bit further. Now I'm gonna actually just skip and go straight to this. So technical optimizations you should be paying attention to early on, making sure that the ChatGPT bot can actually hit your site. So GPT bot, Bing bot, Perplexity bot, in your robots.txt, check that your developer can have a look at that. I'm sorry, I'm a bit nasally. I had a sauna on the beach, and it's you can hear it through my nose. So you ensure your site is crawlable, fast, and mobile friendly. That's the same story for the last 20 years. Now, this is big. Avoid relying on heavy JavaScript or key content rendering. Now, don't hold me to that, but from my understanding, like Wix and Weebly and Squarespace and a lot of the other page builders out there, I could be extremely wrong, but the way their interface makes it easy for you to move things around, I believe there are complexities with what is actually shown to the search engines and the Google bots. Don't hold me to that. Maybe something's changed. What my developers have always cried about is, hey, we've got this amazing content, but the bots can't see it. Making sure, I think HTML is the best thing to do, making sure that your content is easily readable. Now, submitting to indexing tools. We've done this for years. Google Search Console is where you communicate. It's like the Google admin from between your website and showing in the index. As soon as you make any edits, any changes to the site, you submit your website to Google Search Console, essentially saying, hey, Mr. Google, come check this out. This is where they'll tell you if they don't like pages. This is where they'll tell you crawl not indexed, meaning I've seen the site. I don't think you're worthy. I don't think you should have it. This is not valuable content. Discovered not indexed could be a lot of reasons. Maybe your site doesn't have enough backlinks to warrant hosting these pages. Look at it as it's like every site has a crawl budget. It's like your hosting space, right? And Google's looking at your site that's only a couple of months old and you want to show 1 million pages, 1,000 pages. It's like, no, you need to earn that. The way you can earn that is more backlinks and time and proving to Google you are trustworthy, you deliver a good experience. They A/B test everything. They send you a little bit of traffic. They see how the traffic engages with you. There's a sandbox period, a whole bunch of other stuff. Now, we always did this anyway because Bing has always been one of the major search engines. So if a site went up 10 years ago, 5 years ago, we always submitted it to Bing Webmaster Tools. I'm shocked and surprised how many sites I take over actually that don't have any of these set up. It's definitely Bing Webmaster Tool. Bing is ChatGPT. Bing is Microsoft. Microsoft owns ChatGPT. Make sure your site is submitted there. Make sure as soon as you make changes, you submit it there. Keep an eye on the errors log. Keep an eye on when they tell you we don't like certain things. Now, implement deep structured data schema. This is not new. Google what it is. Use schema types like FAQ, product, how-to, local business, video object. Now, this is mostly like you put a lot of effort on this with e-commerce like Shopify's and WooCommerce and stuff like that. You still definitely need it for a local business. Yeah, it's definitely on all of our sites, but the focus more is e-com and especially the products. So content strategy and semantic optimization. So understand that language models, it's like a chat. You're chatting with a mate over a beer in a sauna. How would you chat to them? That's actually a big one where a lot of our sites in the last few years have been completely rewritten, sometimes multiple times. We're starting a lot of blogs with a lot of pages with an intro, straight to the point. Too long, didn't read. My 10,000 super guides have been trimmed up a little bit, or if it's still there, it begins with, hey, let's just get straight to the point. And at one stage, that's exactly what we wrote. Hey, let's get straight to the point. The way you remove moths in Melbourne for pest control is this, right? So start each page with 40 to 60 word summary. Define key terms explicitly. So be really clear. Minimize the fluff. Use bullets, lists, tables, FAQs, and how-to steps, because that gets crawlable. When someone's asking how to make this recipe, be specific. New York style pizza instead of just pizza, right? A bit more flavor. Target long tail conversational queries. Prioritize natural language questions like, what is the best laptop under 10,000 for students? Now, I've just started to roll out some really cool posts on a lot of my sites, whereas I've found the best electrician in Melbourne. The best electrician in Melbourne is client. I found the best builder in Melbourne. So conversational type words that I like review. How to prepare business for AI search. So just answer the question H1, H2, etc. Now, there's a lot of tools that you can use. People also ask SEMrush. I'm not going to talk about it now. I just want to just zoom through this because this is already 17 minutes. Focus on semantic relevance, not just keywords. We've done this for a very long time. Build content clusters around core topics, meaning topical authority. For example, that pest controller that has services on mice removal, there'll be a cluster of content on seasonal mice traps, the natural ways that you can get rid of mice. All of the questions that are surrounding that topic, call it a cluster. They're all internally linked. They're all juicing up that main page. Use internal links with meaningful anchor text. Connect your content semantically, explaining relationships between ideas. Platform-specific tactics for ChatGPT. In other words, rank well on Bing. If you rank well on Bing, you will get picked up by ChatGPT. To rank on Bing, you just rank well on Google, because the algorithm is more or less the same. It's backlinks, it's on-page, it's structure, it's speed. It's all of the stuff that I've ranted about for years. Now, FAQs, lists, create best X for Y content style. So this is where my hundreds of sites go in. If I've got another pergola builder in Melbourne kicking off with me, I can't take on too many, but hypothetically, I will go to my tradie websites about home renovations, and I will place that pergola builder Melbourne on my already mature directories, the yellow pages. Now, I built these years ago. One, because I was like, I had to look at yellow pages and white pages and all of the other best of, and I'm like, you guys, this is just, you guys choose who you want first. They do that in their terms and conditions, like we decide who goes first. It's their site. So I started doing the same. That was a long time ago. So that helps ChatGPT consider us. For Perplexity, I'm not doing anything specific for Perplexity because it's just top 10 comparison posts, top 10 dentists, top 10 whatever. And for Gemini, this is big. EEAT, experience, expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. This is where I will dish out 100 interview questions to my clients. I'll get the camera rolling, I'll get the microphones rolling, and I will create high quality about us content that gets chopped up into reels. Mobile first design with high loading speeds, schema markup. I probably don't want to cook you any further, but run prompt tests. Ask ChatGPT, Perplexity, Gemini about your niche. Track where your brand is cited, what kinds of content gets cited. Whole bunch of SEO tools are now offering AI rank tracking. I haven't seen it consistently work. It's just cool. It's like back in the day when Facebook started to show us impressions and clicks, we were hooked. It was like a game. Now, with all of this AI stuff out, I'm only seeing less than 1% of traffic coming from AI language models. Now, they've only just started tracking it recently, so I have no doubt there's a lot of traffic missing. But all in all, and everything that I'm reading and all my mentors, it's still less than 1% of traffic is coming from AI. Quick wins, high, low effort, add schema, enable bots. Like if ChatGPT can't crawl your site, you're in trouble. Submit sitemaps. Rewrite 5 key pages with semantic structure, build content hubs and resources. That's the standard SEO campaign from Eugenius over here. We build a website, we build all the service pages, we build all the geo pages, we surround it with blogs and guides on the topic, we send backlinks to those blogs, to everywhere, and we juice up the whole site. And that's the ranking process. I'm seeing that everything with this new way of doing SEO is actually going back to its core roots. More backlinks of high quality, good text without fluff that makes it clear what you do. Brand signals, that's the big one. Diversification of traffic. So just relying on traffic from Google, those days are dead. You have to be optimizing and posting on social media. You have to be showing the giants diversification of traffic sources, because that's a sign of trust, right? So unfortunately that means that you have to start getting out some social media content, a reel or a video. You've got a lot of AI actors out there. I'd probably avoid that as much as possible, because you're just potentially polluting the internet. I would create like a unique tone. So best practices, human editing still wins. AI generated content often lacks voice, narrative, logic, and real insights. My argument there is a very good, complex, multi-prompts with backing of the client's voice, their personal stories, the weather, the local space, the events, everything, the local footy clubs. You can absolutely use AI content that ranks. Now, my AI content is powered up by 4 different unique teams that come together to make one piece, which stems from stories from the client. So my electrician will finish a job installing an aircon. He will record an audio for me about the complexities of this installation. Then that goes into this system, right? Always use human editors to inject style, opinion, brand, and personality. There it is. Without that, this is where you're just polluting. If you're just asking a question, how to install an air conditioner in ChatGPT, and you're grabbing that text and you throw it into your site, that page most likely will not get indexed. It depends a lot on your authority and a whole bunch of other stuff. But your summary of AI to-do list. Let bots crawl your site, implement structure for your best UX, rewrite content for semantics, not just keywords. Target niche, long tail queries, be visible across Reddit, YouTube, TikTok, and forums. Build tools that solve problems. This is a cool one. I didn't talk about it, but it's basically where you create resources. Might be like a mortgage broking calculator so people spend more time on your site. Something that keeps the user glued to your page, infographics and stuff like that. Monitor how AI tools cite and ignore your site. Now, I've heavily chopped up this screenshot, and you don't have to believe me. I've got nothing to sell to you, but basically here's an example of a pretty competitive term. It's a campaign that I've managed for over 2 years, where it's the search in ChatGPT is best keyword Australia. It's a national company, it's a national service, and client site is first. My sites are 3rd and 4th in the result out of 6. Now, no doubt this will change, this will fluctuate, this will be like a roller coaster. But if you've ever clicked on sources in ChatGPT, it'll show you how it got to this answer. And I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 unique websites which one way or another are promoting our main site. Call it a backlink, call it a main anchor, call it a listicle where we're top. So it's like they're seeing all of these sources and they're just trusting it. And this is across the board, across many of my websites, many of my clients. A lot of the time, they're recommending my lead gen sites. Best builder in Sydney. It's best builder Sydney's first, and you have all of my sites juicing it up. In a nutshell, core SEO strategies, just the standard. I shouldn't say core SEO strategies. Everything has changed. Don't get me wrong. Everything has been flipped upside down, but the people that have been doing this the longest just need to do like a shoulder pivot. Right? The agencies that are still performing meaningful tasks, the SEOs that are still in the thick of it, in the cogs, they're not having a hard time because they know that this is just, oh, okay, I was already doing this, I'll just focus a bit more on this and make sure these things are just ticked off. Hope that's helpful. Geez, 26 minutes. Let me know if you have any questions. Once again, All of this is extremely important. All these 5 factors are extremely important. But really, if you optimize well for Bing and Google search engines with all of these updated, and you build backlinks and you do fundamental SEO tactics on a monthly basis, mixed with, of course, diversification, social media, Instagrams, TikToks, basically gaining traffic and brand presence through other sources, that's how you will show up higher in AI searches. Hope that helps.